My name is Richard Kelly. I'm an attorney, I'm a doctor, and I'm a professor. As a professor, I teach interns, residents, medical students, and other attendings about the field of anesthesiology. So I know a lot about that. I'm also an attorney, and I do medical malpractice law. And I fight for the rights of patients who have been damaged by the medical system. Let me give you a little background about myself. I did my undergraduate training at Harvard University in Boston. After I graduated with combined degrees in biochemistry and religion, I came out here to California, where I studied public health at the University of California in Berkeley. I then went to Stanford, where I studied medicine. And after my second year of medical school, I decided I wanted to study law as well. So for the next 5 years, I did a combined degree in law and medicine and graduated with both my medical degree and my law degree on the same day. After that, I went to UCSF in San Francisco, where I trained in internal medicine for my internship. I did specialty training in anesthesiology. And then later on, I came back and did a subspecialty training in cardiothoracic and cardiovascular anesthesiology. Currently, I'm a professor that practices and teaches anesthesiology and performs open heart surgery anesthesia. And I practice law and work to fight for the rights of those who have been damaged by the medical system. Let me talk to you about a couple things that we see in our office. We, as anesthesiologists, have responsibility for the patient in the operating room. So patients who come in and are under anesthesia, if they have any kind of damage while they're under anesthesia, that's the responsibility of the anesthesiologist or perhaps a surgeon or the nurse in the room. We've had a couple of cases of patients when they're being transferred from the gurney onto the bed or from the bed back onto the gurney have fallen onto the floor. That should never happen. That is a case that ought to be litigated. We've had cases where anesthesiologists failed to put the breathing tube in the right place and the patient suffered brain injury. That should be litigated. We've had cases where anesthesiologists have put the breathing tube in but knocked out a tooth. That's unacceptable. We've had cases where anesthesiologists improperly positioned the patient and the patient suffered nerve injury. That's unacceptable. We have a thing in law called res ipsa loquitur. That's Latin for the thing speaks for itself. So if a patient goes into the operating room and undergoes anesthesia, and a particular part of the body or a particular system is fine when they go in, but when they come out, it's been damaged, then the people who were in the operating room will be held responsible for it because the thing speaks for itself. I have a case on my desk of a patient that went in for a simple surgery on her foot. She came out with unremitting pain in her hand. Now, nobody operated on that hand, but something happened in the operating room that caused damage to that hand. So we can try to find out what happened, but the patient had no participation in that injury. And therefore, the thing speaks for itself. Something happened in the operating room by somebody that requires litigation and compensation for that damage. The thing speaks for itself. A couple other things that we see. We see patients who are undergoing pain management treatment, and the anesthesiologist puts the needle into the wrong place and actually damages the nerve itself. This is something that should never happen. And so we prosecute those cases aggressively. If a patient comes to a doctor and the doctor does not treat the pain adequately, we may have a case of failure to treat. And we look at those cases very carefully and evaluate them here at LawMD. Here at LawMD, we have at least 10 doctors who are both physicians in a variety of different specialties, as well as medical malpractice attorneys. So we have a cadre of people that we can consult to bring about the best result in your particular case. LawMD is a very special national law firm that is able to take all medical cases and understand the medicine and understand the medical chart and understand what the doctor did or didn't do. And we understand the law so that we can bring and achieve justice for people that have been damaged by the medical system. I hope you'll consider LawMD for your particular case. We'd be happy to evaluate it. And if there is something that we can do for you, we will use all of our resources to bring justice for you.